Hey guys, it's April 15th of 2024. It's Crypto Chillbird. Let's dive into the markets. It's been a hectic weekend, especially Saturday. You had a bunch of liquidations you kind of see here in this heat map. On April 11th, we had about 900, about 900 million in liquidations, right? And then on April 12th, we had another 900 million liquidations. And today we still have 240 million liquidations, both on the short side and long side. So it's basically super choppy, right? If you're a trader, this is perfect for you, but without leverage, because right now this kind of volatility is expected due to the halving. So they're trying to chop everyone up, right? To kind of get your Bitcoin or altcoins or whatever you have, so they could kind of accumulate. If you kind of like here back in, so let's look up Bitcoin real quick. If you look here back in 2019, 2020, we had similar price action, right? I remember in 2019 to 2020, they were chopping everyone up. I remember, let's see, this August, right? This run up to in the in 2019, we ran out from like 4,000 to about 14,000, right? Before we kind of consolidated, right? And then you had and the COVID crash, which a lot of people are comparing it to this last crash, but it's not that bad. We went here from like 10K to about almost like 40, like 4,000. So that was pretty bad. But I'm thinking here, we're just chopping away before we kind of see this next run up. The only thing is, I don't think Bitcoin is gonna run up as much as the altcoins, right? Because even here, where I follow the forecast law and all that kind of stuff, this is showing me there's a 48% chance or probability that Bitcoin's going to be higher in 6 months. So this means within the next 3 to 5 or even 6 months, Bitcoin might just chop around, or go up to like 80, 90,000, but that's it. A lot of people are calling for like 120, all that stuff. It could happen, but not within the next 6 months. It could happen maybe if this indicator flashes otherwise, but it's been pretty spot on because the UDPI long kind of indicator was over almost 3. Same thing with Ethereum. And so what I'm liking most right now is Chainlink. Chainlink's forecast model is showing me 93% chance that's going to be higher in 6 months. This like UDPI long is still at negatives, right? So super undervalued compared to the markets, especially like at Bitcoin, Ethereum. So it's gonna it's gonna be interesting. I still think there's gonna be a top this year. I'm calling around July to about October. I'm gonna start DCing out now, probably at the end of the month, not right now, just because everything just tanked. If you kind of see here, the thing is that Bitcoin didn't do too bad. It's mostly the altcoins that got wrecked. Altcoins, Bitcoin just chopped around, right? You went from like 72 to about, there's a flash wake to about 59, right? Which is terrible, but not like the worst. Where you have altcoins like AVAX, right? We went from, what was it day? Tuesday, Thursday? Yeah, we went from 48 to 28. This reminds me back in 2021 when Chainlink went from 36 to 16. Bunch of people got liquidated. And since then, I've never really tried to mess with leverage because I learned my lesson the hard way. I'm like, how the hell can something go down 50 to 6% in a flash? But it did the same thing here, right? So if you look at even Chainlink, right? One of the stronger altcoins went from 17, 18 to 12. That was absurd, right? And it's looking to consolidate now, right? You look at the 2 day, you kind of see all these indicators kind of refreshing. You see in the RSI in 2 days hitting super oversold levels. So I like to look at that. 1 day already oversold, 12 hour heavily oversold. Pretty sure. Yep. We look at the 5 hour. It's looking like it's as you get closer and closer to the ranges, right? I mean the hourly or time frames. You're seeing it wants to get out, right? But it's not done. So long term, if you're bullish, yes, and DCA into it, but right now I'm not really deploying in capital. You have stronger odds like Ondo, right? Ondo on the 1 day, it's not as undervalued as the rest, right? RSI is still remaining strong. I did dip a bit, right, on went to like 60 cents, but it strongly recovered back, which is what you want to see in altcoins. Um, you got other meme coins, altcoins, like let's say Floki, this thing got like wrecked 20 to about 12, 11 cents. Yeah, and then, thing is right now that everything's getting screwed up is because everything's focused again on the dollar, which is super annoying, but it's part of the game, right? You're seeing CPI went hot, dollar's getting more strength. So if you look here, let's look at the 3 week. It could kind of still ramp a bit, right? Like I said last week, you kind of maybe touch the highs at 111 again before we go down. So next couple months might be pro dollar. So risk risk off on assets like Bitcoin, tech, all that kind of stuff might be choppy or maybe an accumulation phase because the dollar is strong, right? I don't think it's going to be strong as like it before back in 2011. I mean 2021, right? We saw this run from like 91 to 114, which is absurd. But you never know. So that's why at this point the money was to be made was in the last couple of months. Right now, we don't know what the hell is going to happen, especially with war. When war happens, it's kind of everything's up in the air, right? Of course, like defensive stocks are going to go up. Um, but yeah, DXY is looking strong in short term. Let's look at the 1 day. Look, it's kind of getting overbought a bit. Yeah, short term not looking as strong, but long term it still has room to run. Hopefully, doesn't not too much, right? Because it kind of fucks everything. But it's all tension again with the Fed and all that stuff, which is so annoying the last couple of years. But the Fed controls everything right now, unfortunately. Um, and then let's see where he went over link Ondo. Let's look at Ethereum. Ethereum was looking strong, right? But this war thing just wrecked all the damn charts, including Ethereum. So I remember last week it was looking strong. We're at 3,500, wick down to about 29, right? Now above 3,000, which is good. So it looks like the 2 day chart last week, the 2 day indicator told us it was going to go up. But again, with all these events, they're black swan events, right? You can't account for that. So even though I love to look at the charts so it can kind of tell me a story, not all the time it's the correct story, right? You have all these damn things that happen, and we can't account for that, and that's okay. Can't beat yourself up for it. You took a chance of what you thought was right, but it didn't. Luckily, I'm not in like leverage positions. I'm all just in spot. I'm not really trading. I'm just swing trading. I'm just looking now to like start super scaling out. I was waiting for Chainlink to get up in the 30s, 40s region because it does have that chance. It still hasn't popped. If you look at the altcoin season, we're still at 41, right? The highest I went to was like 84, right? And this back in like January. Then tried again in February. But if you remember back in other times like 2021, even 2020, we went to up to 89, right? And then we went up here. We went all the way up to night on the 90s, right? We peaked here 98, right? So it's 98. Get the fuck out of altcoins. But it hasn't done that, right? So it's just been a weird dynamics, maybe because of the ETF. Even the CBBI indicator is 76, right? This kind of flashed 94 and 96 in 2021. Highest I went to was 82, right? Still, everything's still looking good. It's just all this choppy market right now. So just my recommendation is just DCA in to like positions that you really think are going to go higher, but do not trade in this environment. You're going to get wrecked, especially with leverage. That's pretty much everything on my end. But yeah, I think next episode I'll go over some tweets that I think are interesting, and we could kind of go from there. All right, peace.